Incongruous.
Yeah, what do you mean it's
Street.
incongruous? We have lots of kids watching the show. Kids write this show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. My guests are Chris Isaak and Roger Daltrey, and my next guest, well, Jim Morrison died in '71 and they disbanded in '73, but the Doors remain bigger than ever. Last year, the three surviving band members got back in the studio to put down some backing tracks for some of Jim's poetry recorded on his 27th birthday. It's become the album An American Prayer, which our next guest is here to promote. Please welcome the founder of the Doors and their keyboard, Mr. Ray Manzarek. I got your name wrong.
That's all right. You did good.
Sorry.
You did good.
Ray, come on in.
All right, guys.
Roger, Chris.
Hey, boss. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
We've got a fair slice of rock and roll history here right now.
This is not bad. This
No,
is quite a lineup. Does this happen every day on the show?
Yeah, we had the Beatles in last week.
Were they? How were they?
Yep. John again, very reluctant, but there you go. Now, the 60s were, you know, peace, love, mung beans, all of that, but the Doors went a much darker way. Was that a deliberate ploy to run against the pack?
None of it was a ploy.
Yeah.
The whole 60s was about reality. That's it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a game. It was a serious undertaking to actually change the course of human history. And perhaps we didn't do it, but we certainly got high.
Had a decent shot with Vietnam. So, well...
See, that wasn't our war. That's the whole point of it. What we were trying to do was to stop the war. You know, there's a saying, hippies have a saying, it's called make love, not war. We didn't want the war. We wanted to stop the war. Otherwise, I mean, God knows, you know, a couple of guys like us, young pup
We didn't have the
here.
war, but we sure made a lot of love.
Yeah. Got high, too.
Oh, I love rock and roll talk. I love it.
We ingested certain substances that are now proscribed, now illegal, but at the time, 65, 67, LSD was not an illegal drug.
Really?
And you could open the doors of perception if you dared, if you had the courage, if you had the guts.
The name. What was, if you had the guts? Take me inside a trip, Ray.
Well, it's a classic spiritual merging with the universe, in which you realize that you, Andrew, are actually at one with the entire universe.
No, I want...
That's not the one I went on.
You didn't have that one?
No, totally different.
No, Ray got the group therapy trip.
Excuse me,
We had the
Roger.
California one.
Yes. Did you have
I had the Shepherd's Bush one. Not quite the same.
was that the Gila monsters coming out of the eyes and the tongue on fire trip?
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Well, that one exists too, but that's the other side of the coin. So you're going to balance off heaven and hell, and you know, Aldous Huxley's book, The Doors of Perception. If anyone reads anymore, I'd highly advise looking into Aldous Huxley's book, The Doors of Perception. If you want to know what psychedelic is all about, that will explain it to you.
Towards the late 60s, a lot of police were coming to your gigs and there was a lot of hostility. What was it like playing under those circumstances?
That was insane. The cops were lining the stage between me and you guys. It's a row of cops. Now, I don't know whether they were to protect us from you or to protect you from us or how it worked, but Morrison was actually busted. You know, Miami happened and...
Did he actually expose himself? Because that was the charge.
That was the charge. That was one of the charges. He was up on 4 charges. Obscenity, drunkenness, filth, and...
Singing in a minor key in a public place, things like that.
Something like that. An overlong member, I think. They had.
So he did expose himself?
Well, we're not sure. There was a stack of photos entered into evidence, 200 photos, and not one, having photos of everything, not one of the photos did the ivory shaft appear.
But you were sitting there, from where you sat.
From where I sat, I didn't see it. He was holding his shirt in front of him and kind of moving it. He'd taken his shirt off, moving it back and forth, saying, I'm going to show it to you, I'm going to show it to you, watch this, watch this. Hey, did you see it? Hey, there it was. And look it, there it is, there it is. And whether or not it was ever seen, I'm not sure. Yeah. And I think had it been seen, well, there would have been women sighing and perhaps weeping and screaming with joy. I'm not sure what.
Well, it depends how big it actually was there, Ray. I mean, it was a big auditorium we're talking about.
Well, it wasn't that big. The auditorium.
Yes. Okay. Now, what was it like working with somebody who really took life, well, to the edge and beyond it, in fact?
Maddening, insane, and delightful and joyous and, you know, rhythmic and intense and powerful and passionate.
You've been practicing your adjectives and adverbs. That's very, very good. Did Jim Morrison influence you, Rog?
No, I couldn't stand their music. It drive me nuts.
Come on, you wanted that youthful pout.
No. I mean, they were kind of West Coast America. We were London.
Yeah.
And
these guys, they were before us. I mean, I don't think we influenced you guys. If anything, you guys had a little influence on us. This man influenced Jim Morrison. I don't think it went the other way around. Jim Morrison.
I influenced him at the Yellow White when he drank my bloody Southern Comfort.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You got him drunk, man. You were plotting.
I got Jim Morrison drunk.
You started. He was a virtual virgin.
I had a full bottle of Southern Comfort, and I had one swig out of it, and I said, "Want a drink, Jim?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's...
And he gave it back empty.
Well, if it was Keith Mooney, would have eaten the bottle, so you were lucky. Now, Chris, did either of these bands have an influence on you?
You know, it's like, just listen to all this, it's like, you know, talking about taking trips and all that stuff. I mean, I never smoked marijuana or took a trip or anything, and probably, I don't know if do you get Dragnet over here with, you know, Joe Friday?
We remember Dragnet, yeah.
Did you ever see that? There's an episode on there where, like, the guys take LSD and then they all end up dead. I saw that. I just saw that, so, you know, I just backed right off.
Chris is a surfer, you know. Chris is on a natural high, man, obviously. You know, this man is straight arrow and a good human being, you know. That's what it's about. It's about being a good human being on the planet.
Oh, Ray, you're so lovely.
Guts.
This is like we've got good and evil here, fighting it out.
Exactly.
I saw him before he was on TV today. I saw him this morning at breakfast. Yep. He's the same way.
Oh, no.
So he's a nice guy. He's the same way. He goes, "How you doing?" He gave me his number and stuff. I mean, he's cool.
Well, actually, the album...
Missing you already.
An American Prayer. What was it like going back in the studio recording with a ghost? Of course, you had Jim's voice in your ears.
He was in the earphones. John and Robbie and I are in the recording studios about 5 months ago. We're playing our music. We're hearing Jim in the earphones. When you're in the studio, the singer is always in a soundproof booth. It's called a vocal room or whatever the hell it's called. And you're playing your music. You're with the other guys, and he's off there. You go back into the studio, and all four of you are there to listen. And he wasn't there, man. It was like a ghost. You're right. It was the spirit was there, the energy was there, but the physical presence wasn't there anymore.
Was it boogity boogity?
No, man. No, it's not oogity boogity.
Okay, just thought I'd ask.
Okay, well, you did, and no, it wasn't like that.
Oh, well, that's a bit disappointing. Ray, Roger, Chris, don't move from these seats because we've got something very special for you coming up in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Manzarek.
Excellent.